Ah, the Santa Claus. This was the time when Tim Allen was riding high on the success having the #1 book, movie, and TV show at the same time. It could also be a high from his admitted former addiction to cocaine. So kids, let this be a lesson. There are 3 distinct possibilities when doing cocaine. Number 1, your creativity will be triggered and will land you fame and riches. Number 2, you'll overdo it and die of a fucking heart attack. Or 3, you'll piss away your fame and track record on a piece of shit called Joe Somebody. Anyhow, Tim Allen plays Scott Calvin, a 40-ish yuppie asshole and absent father who would probably rather armor all the dash to his Volvo than spend time with his son Charlie, Eric Lloyd. The movie opens at a company Christmas party, which is where Scott would rather be, trying to land a blowjob from his secretary. But he realizes he has an obligation to spend Christmas Eve with his son, just to keep his ex-wife's cock holster shut. Well, Scott's full of excuses like most cokeheads are. He leaves a blatantly deceptive message on his ex's answering machine as he pulls off onto the wrong exit to score nose candy and bang a whore in the back of his Ford Escort. Well, after he does a bump or two and gets his rocks off in a prostitute, he meets up for the visitation exchange with his bitch of an ex who brings along her know-it-all, dickhead, cuck, boy-toy husband Neil. When you first see Charlie interact with his dad and mom in the house, you realize the little dude's mixed up. He has a virtually absent father, a domineering whore for a mother, and his stepdad holds a PhD in douchebaggery from Cuckold State University. This movie's rated PG. If this was more appropriately set with an R rating, you would have his mom having horns protrude from her head and sipping on Tim Allen's blood from a 32-ounce styrofoam cup. But anyway, Mom and the tool bag stepdad exit, and then we're revealed that doing a few rails of cocaine is not good when you need to make a turkey, so Scott and Charlie head to Denny's, which is a fine quality institution with an assortment of other failed patriarchs of broken families. The tone was appropriately set with the likes of White Christmas, where the intro sounds like a barbershop quartet sitting on a row of toilets, taking a simultaneous shit. After enjoying the likes of Denny's, Scott takes his autopilot parenting to a next level, as he sputters off a few lines from the night before Christmas, his cocaine high crashing and burning as bad as Christmas with the Cranks. After shushing his son up, he's later awoken as the little bastard begins to hear noises. Well, it seems they both awake to a fat bastard in a red suit dancing on the roof, known only as Santa Claus. Because we all know that when you're potentially being burglarized, that a gun or even a baseball bat's just too textbook. But when you're a giant, hulking, intimidating figure like Tim Allen, all you need to do is head out in your polka dot boxers and burgundy jacket to unleash your bad boy side and scare the asshole that's trying to do the Macarena on your roof. However, all Tim Allen had to do was simply look at the fat motherfucker to make him quote-unquote fall off the roof. I mean, being a badass runs in the family as Charlie walks out as completely unfazed by the fact that a burly, fat, red-shirted asshole is lying dead on his front lawn. They look away for a second and turn back, and they see the fat bastard's gone. Scott reaches the conclusion that Santa's running naked down the street, his balls hardening from the cold. Scott's eyes bugged out with a hidden erection underneath his dreamy polka dot boxers. Well, as the movie wears on, you begin to realize Charlie really takes advantage of the childhood divorce angle with his dad. Charlie is a spoiled little bastard who doesn't listen to his dad and just acts like a stupid asshole the entire film. He whines more than some dipshit who blows her welfare check on 1,000 lotto tickets and doesn't win a fucking thing. He's kind of like the whining siren of an ambulance, as he'll inevitably act like a dickhead in his 30s, and he'll just blame it on his half-assed father, his slutty mother, and his know-it-all cuck of a stepdad. Once the night is over, they land in the North Pole, which, like some homoerotically overblown Broadway musical that features breakdancing gingers and stunt doubles for Vern Troyer. Amongst all this madness is David fucking Krumholtz, a.k.a. Bernard, who's like the fucking elf answer to Bob Marley. Yeah, Bernard hands Charlie this old-as-shit snow globe. He once again was unfazed. I mean, he had about as much enthusiasm for that snow globe as the average kid has for a fucking popcorn tin from their ancient grandparent. Well, still there at the North Pole, Scott finds out that he's stuck in a real butt-fuck of a contract called the Santa Claus. You're a fucking indentured servant for the remainder of your life because you put on a red suit that smells like jelly donuts and Burl Ives' sweaty ass. Well, was the North Pole all a coke-induced dream? But wait! Scott wakes up wearing Liberace's pajamas that the elves gave him. Because not long after he gets up, his whore of an ex is at the door with her dipshit new husband, hearing stories about Charlie's trip to the North Pole, and acting like an overdramatic asshole, begins her agenda to discredit Tim Allen's character and isolate him from his son completely. Of course, not without the help of her asshat husband. Well, Neil's meddling in this issue particularly really pisses me off. This fuckhead is obviously some dipshit that's nothing more than a cereal box psychiatrist, telling his stepson that Santa isn't real in a sense. So it really narrows down who Neil really is. He's just some egghead who has to listen to his wife get fucked by a stranger in the next room while he pecks away on his MacBook. But he's also just a monstrous dickhead who wants to shatter the imagination of an innocent child. Well, as the movie rolls along, Charlie's convinced his dad is Santa Claus, going as far to introduce him as Santa during career day after school, to all the amusement of the little bastards in his classroom. However, Scott's going through changes as well. He plumps up like the comic book guy off The Simpsons. There's nothing quite like returning to the work and ordering one of everything off the menu. I mean, don't forget the Diet Coke, asshole. As Scott enjoys his massive feast, his coworkers just stare in awe as if there were the circle of bystanders watching William H. Macy's wife getting banged in Boogie Nights. Well, you replace a chick's ass and a dude's schlong with a fucking spoon and a hot fudge sundae, and you have culinary porn of the PG variety. Scott does more than put on about 200 pounds. He begins to look somewhere between a communist chess player and Ariel's dad from The Little Mermaid. It's as if he hit a midlife case of puberty as his beard grows back as soon as he shaves it off. I mean, the dude's obviously in a wicked, unfair deal with this Santa Claus contract shit, as he can't even enjoy his son's soccer game without looking like a big old pedo bear as children wait to sit on his lap. Well, that's about the moment his domineering whore of an ex and the effeminate egghead stepdad rudely walk through the middle of the goddamn field during a game! And then take Charlie away. Things get taken to a Mrs. Doubtfire-like level as his ex goes to Sally Field levels of bitchdom with the assistance and encouragement from Neil, the diploma mill graduate and self-absorbed cuckold. They decide to strip Scott of all his visitation rights, but whine about why they stopped believing in Santa Claus. Neil was 3 and got pissed off for 30 years because he didn't get an Oscar Mayer weenie whistle. Dude, you can blow a dick with an Oscar Mayer sticker on it for the right amount of money or with a major credit card. What a fucking douche. The ex has been pissed for eternity because she didn't get mystery date. The mystery all along was that you had sex with and had a child with Santa Claus. Ho ho ho, indeed, bitch. Yeah, the whole dramatic interlude shit sets in. Scott's not allowed to see Charlie. Scott ends up getting arrested and put in jail. The fucking elves save him. Yada, yada, yada. Now, just to cut to the end. Neil finally gets that damn weenie whistle and just blows it like the finest whore. Scott's ex gets mystery date. She now figured out she divorced the mystery meat with magic power that planted the seeds that helped her give birth to her spoiled dickwad of a son. But it wasn't all a happy ending where archaic-ass board games and curiosity over blowjobs changed the hearts and minds of complete assholes. No. What about Scott and Charlie? Well, Scott's basically stuck being a portly, red-suited asshole who can now be summoned whenever Charlie wants him by shaking a snow globe. Of course Charlie will be shaking it. You didn't give a flying fuck about your dad until you could benefit from him being Santa Claus. Spoiled bastard. To make matters worse, Charlie plans to be Santa Claus when he grows up. So I guess once he outgrows toys, he'll grow into an ID network program after he murders his father to become the next Santa. Little evil motherfucker. Well, there you have it, folks. The Santa Claus. One of Tim Allen's best movies. Probably his only good live-action movie, unless Galaxy Quest is your cup of tea. I give it 2.5 out of 4. It's still a decent watch around Christmas, but the strength of the film is squarely in the first half. I'll probably watch it again, but I'll always think of Neil's a pussy who wears sensitive sweaters and Charlie's a future killer. Childhood ruin. Thank you very much.